The next idea that I'd like to explore here is that the self directed, heavy homework focus that accompanies things such as CBT is just impractical for our daily busy lives. So, a significant limitation of cognitive behavioral therapy in particular lies in its heavy reliance on self directed homework, requiring significant active participation from yourself, the client, beyond the therapy sessions. This is dedicated time, energy, and attention on a daily basis towards these tasks. And if these significant tasks are not completed rigorously, results become progressively worse, and now the client is still struggling with their issue and they feel like they've failed therapy for having a busy life. What's more, approximately half of the in CBT session time involves reviewing homework tasks such as thought records, behavioral experiments, exposure exercises, journaling, and practicing specific coping skills like relaxation techniques and assigning the next stage of the homework or the next stage of the program. In a day and age where people are busy, stressed, and bombarded with information across multiple platforms, the requirement of dedicating significant portions of your time each day on tasks that produce a very small immediate return on your investment is often very disheartening. And it's a model that's doomed to inadvertently set people up to fail. Because, in practical terms, it means only the very most dedicated to the process succeed in achieving CBT's overall aims. And I'm not in any way suggesting that dedicated time and energy into mastering your emotions isn't worthwhile. What I'm suggesting is that because these exercises are routinely quite boring and repetitive, and they provide such a small payout on a daily basis, that people lose interest in them. And this is more of a failure of the technique rather than it is on the person. Because if it isn't engaging, if it isn't interesting, and it isn't rewarding enough, it's because the task is either not giving the person sufficient benefits or advantages to continue to do it, or just as likely, the task is just too long, so there isn't enough viable opportunities for people to slot it into their day, and instead they have to book time in their diary to do it, and it often falls down the list because of other priorities. The heavy reliance on self directed work also flags up another weakness. If that much time is spent in the sessions reviewing and assigning work, the CBT practitioner is relatively limited in terms of how much time they can dive into your particular issue or challenge, particularly when a lot of that time is based on you talking and explaining the details of what happened. And it makes much more sense to me that in a more optimal approach, especially in the earlier stages, the bulk of the improvements are achieved in the session with the practitioner, as this is where their skill set is. Then, as small bite sized chunks of self directed work that are easy to do and slot easily into your day start to build and accumulate outside of the sessions, then the transfer of benefits begins to move more towards a balance between in term, in session, and at home results. But with CBT, this just isn't the case.